Can you see it now?
Yes, we can. I can also see Igor's fabulous new hat.
I'm jealous. I mean, I'm sorry.
It's
I
actually
don't
new.
know.
This is I have it for like many years. I have
Wow.
an unhealthy number of hats. I don't know why. I just keep getting them.
Trying to cover something?
Not yet. Not yet. I'm not there yet.
What was the hat that he didn't have though? We were trying to find one this time. What was it?
Oh my
Merlin
gosh.
hat?
Yes, it was that or the artist hat, like the
That'd be appropriate for Igor to have the Merlin hat. So.
yes.
Well, very good. And to everybody on the call, good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you're coming from, welcome. We are so thankful that you're here, and we enjoy this time where we get together to celebrate with you and have fun during this, our 10th IPC Global Happy Hour. So we've gone through 10 of these so far, having a lot of fun. As Igor said, he's going to bring out all those hats one of these days. So we might have these for forever, I think, it sounds like. So for those of you who've been around and have been in these calls before, you already know that there's a keyword. Those who haven't been, this is your first time, we have a keyword. And so this word is connect. So whenever you hear the word connect, raise up your glass, whatever you have to drink, and let's go ahead and have fun. Our theme today is the Qlik 2025 wrap up. And so we're just going to have some fun with this. As we get started, we need to allow you to connect with our speakers today. And so we are going to, I'm just going to do a quick round of introductions. So who are the cast of characters that you're going to be talking today? Well, first and foremost on the list is the Sultan of Solutions, Igor Alcantara, who is with IPC Global, and he leads our data science and education services. Next to him, not to be any lesser level at all, is the Grandmaster of Goofiness, our Qlik's one and only evangelist and enterprise account rep, a good friend of IPC Global, and always a great time to have Kurt around. I had to hunt for a good picture for you, Kurt, and this is the best I could find, man. I'm sorry. Then also on the panel today, you've seen her like every meeting that we've been on, but she's always in the background leading this whole thing. But it's our unstoppable juggernaut of joy, Danielle Michener. And she is going to be part of the panel today because she was at Connect. And as we do this recap, we're going to just have a little bit of fun today and go around the horn. And so Danielle is joining us. And then for those of you who don't know me, I am the walking, talking tornado, Jeff Fairchild. I've been with IPC Global for 14 years. And if you don't know me, I love to talk. I talk to my colleagues, my customers, anybody, anywhere, anytime. And so I enjoy talking. And so that's why I think it's an appropriate name. And then also today we have a special guest, VJ, who's going to come along and help engage with us, but also share, talk about Qlik's Open Lakehouse direction that we're going to be talking about in a little more detail. So this happy hour is going to be a little bit different in that we're going to be talking about Qlik Connect, and we're going to kind of do a roundtable discussion between the panelists. As you have questions, please put them in the chat and we'll get to them, or comments, whatever you have. Make this interactive as we can. We're going to talk about some of the releases that were done at Qlik Connect and other things that we saw that we were excited about. So again, please join with us and ask questions, put them in the chat. One of the ways to connect with you is always these special days, right? Today is June 12th, and I always like to give that little tidbit of information about what makes today special. And so today is a special day, and it doesn't matter if you're carnivore or not. It is actually National Jerky Day and National Peanut Butter Cookie Day. So I don't know what could be better. We have an excuse now to go off and enjoy those. But on a little more, I guess, fun note, I like this one, is today in 1981, Raiders of the Lost Ark, the first of the Indiana Jones movies, was released. That's pretty cool. So, I mean, it makes me feel pretty old, which I am, but it actually hit theaters on this date in 1981. And on a more serious note, actually, and a really we think back, it seems like ancient history now, but in 1987, Ronald Reagan stood at the Brandenburg Gate and told Gorbachev to tear down this wall, right? So this is a big day in history, a lot of fun, and I hope we have fun here as we connect at this round table. So we're just going to have this panel discussion. We really haven't prepared very much, and so you probably see that as we go through here, but I guess I'm going to open up to our speakers today. And can you, I guess each one, let's go around the horn and see what was like the top 1 or 2 things that you had from Connect? And so I don't know who wants to go first.
I can go first since I don't usually get to talk. Um, I think one of my favorite things was actually going to go to Disney World. You don't usually get to have the whole park rented out for yourself just for the evening. So if you saw the picture down there, Anna, who's also in the green shirt with me, we ran around and we rode every single ride at least like 2 or 3 times, if not 4, because we were just hitting the rides hard. But then more on the Qlik Connect side, where it wasn't just the fun stuff. Connect.
Oh,
I know. I didn't know if anyone caught that. Qlik Answers, I thought that was awesome that we now can have structured and unstructured data. I know it's not immediately rolling out, but I'm really excited for the future of that.
Very cool. Very cool.
Am I next?
Sure, go for it.
Okay. So on the personal thing, I made a goal that week, finding out that the bar in the center had a sangria flight. And I was like, wow, that's pretty cool, sangria flight. If the word flight is mentioned this week, I'm buying it, whatever it is. So the bar at the top of the main hotel also had a cookie flight. I said, I'm in. Unbeknownst to me, after 2 drinks in Epcot, I came across France and there was a champagne flight. Now, being true to myself, saying that I was going to do whatever flight was necessary, I then decided to do that. And that was my undoing for the night. So be warned, the drinking around the world, no joke. On a Qlik level, aside from running around having a lot of great conversations with people, there was this one panel discussion, Move to Cloud, and the host of that panel discussion, just so good looking. But no, I hosted a panel discussion about Move to Cloud and actually got really great feedback from customers who are still kind of making that decision. We had 3 great panelists from 3 different customers who have made that move to the cloud. So it was really kind of exciting to know all that work that went into it and actually have live feedback of like, this was really great. Thank you so much. We had questions about that and kind of connecting the dots. So that was top for me.
Igor.
So first is always like meeting a lot of people that you only interact virtually in person. That was good, and of course there was a lot of like pictures taken, a lot of shakes hand. So it was good to see to get some of the law from a lot of people that follow the the blog and now the podcast. So that was good. And we'll discuss more like in terms of what was discussed that I think was great. But in another thing was I did not get to speak at a session this year, but I got to do a live recording of our new podcast, the Data Voyages podcast, with my co-host Angelica, which was great. Everything went great, and it was very good discussion, conversation. So I think it was my top ones.
Did you not like being found around the conference?
I'm gonna say,
yeah, that's part of the first one. Yeah, that was actually pretty interesting. A lot of people actually joined the game. They found me, customers, non-customers, other park ambassadors, and like a lot of people. So that was good.
Nice.
It was fun.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know, we did a Find Igor segment for our booth. You can see the picture in the bottom left. So if you found Igor, you got an extra ticket into our raffle to get fun prizes. So it was a lot of fun for people to find Igor around the conference.
It was good. So Vijay, we didn't talk about it. Do you have anything you want to add to this? I mean, you can be part of this conversation, not just a
Yeah, totally. So I don't know if you guys know, but this is my first Qlik Connect because I joined Qlik about 8 months ago. That's it. So this is actually my first Qlik Connect. Had tons of fun though. Even though it was my first, I also had a big launch as part of this Qlik Connect, right? So I got 6 months to pull together a big launch around Qlik Open Lakehouse. So I would say that was good. That went pretty well. So I was excited about that. But I would say beyond the launch and everything, I loved the whole Q36.5, the biking challenge that was on the Tour de Qlik. I thought that was really well planned and really well executed. And I don't know if you guys actually know, behind the scenes, it's actually running on an Absolver cluster, an iceberg and stuff. So it was like the live dashboards and the leaderboards that were pulled up were like running on our stuff, right? So I thought that was the whole thing, the way it was pulled together was awesome. And it was exciting to see people actually participate and compete and outcompete each other. So it was really fun getting together. I had like maybe 3 drinks before I hopped on one of those bikes. It did not go well, but I made it through.
Well, I'll say that was impressive for those of you who weren't there. So there were 3 bikes lined up, racing bikes to go through a course with Zwift and all this stuff. But it was, you were getting on, you'd hit go, and then you'd pedal to try to beat a time, kind of other people that were competing. And then when you got off, by the time you got off, it was on a screen showing you your time, your metrics, how you competed with everybody else. So the data was literally in real time, then hosted in Qlik Cloud Analytics, showing you the breakdown. You could click into it and touch to see more features, to do everything that you can do in Qlik. It was impressive. To see it happening, which you're like, that's really cool. That's a cool thing. We do stuff with Trek. We support this team. We do all this different stuff. But then to actually take that data, visualize it, and then play around with it right as you got off the bike, I was like, well done, Qlik team. Well done. And it was using so many different pieces of Qlik, like not just the analytics side, but like you said, Iceberg, Absolver. It was using some of where it was hosting some of the real time and the movement of that data. It was really cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool seeing that. And also I was impressed when Igor was up there. We talked about it, that the bikes held up with under Igor and everything like that. So it was really good that it would go through. So my favorite thing is, I got my shirt on right here, the open lake house, right? I think that is by far the biggest thing that I think I'm excited about with Qlik. There's so many things there to be really cool about, but this is probably my number one. And I want to steal, because we're going to talk about that a bunch later. Number 2, though, I have to say is really close onto it. I'm going to pull up my slide again, is just interacting with our customers and partners and the Qlik reps. So of course, down the lower right, we had our Disney day where the IPC people were, a bunch of us were hanging together, but up in the upper left, you can see only one of the tables. So we do an annual dinner, and we do Fogo de Chao. This year, I think it was a record. I think we had 74 people that we took out to Fogo de Chao, and it was a blast. Yeah, it was a blast. This is the Prince William School District. This is their table, because they sent so many people. But it was just so fun to get together. And this is probably one of the number one reasons why I go to Connect, is to meet up with so many people so fast. And it's just a great time. So we've talked about the things that we really liked about Connect. And now I'm just going to kind of open this up to the field, but Qlik has updated some names and stuff and some of the Qlik services. What are some of the big ones that come to mind? Kurt and Igor, and you guys were talking about some of them.
So I think for me specifically was the Qlik AutoML, is now Qlik Predict, is one of the things. I like how Qlik is renaming part of the product to be like a verb or something. So Qlik AutoML was renamed in almost every place in the tool, with the exception of the connections. If you create a data connection to Qlik Predict, it still shows Qlik AutoML, at least as of now, as we was doing this. And I think the automation is now Automate, so they changed the name. That was interesting, but what's interesting, that there was not like an official announcement. They never said, now Qlik AutoML is Qlik Predict and this, but you could see it. They were mentioned, they just stopped using the, let's say, old, not so old names. So there was an interesting change.
Mm-hmm. Well, it actually helps, because Qlik application automation is a mouthful whenever you tried to say it, right? And QAA, it was always difficult to even say that. So I think I like how they went to automate, and Predict is so much more intuitive to what it does. So I think those are good ones.
Yeah, and it aligns with kind of the four pillars of analytics to that third pillar of that predictive type. So it made sense when I kind of heard about it. I was like, all right, it's more things we need to change, but it's a good. And I think, so now we're talking about Qlik Predict, and it's our AutoML tool. So there's that going on, but it's all right. It was a good change. It was a good change. At Connect.
Making connections for new names.
There you go. I have a couple things. Did you want me to talk about a couple things that I thought
the
were
releases and
functionality? Yeah. I thought there'd be some cool stuff that we talked about. The there were a couple. I mean, I have one that I have a couple slides on because I think it's an important thing. It kind of got announced right before, but like one of them was kind of we announced that there was kind of our write table, which is now we're coming to Qlik Cloud later this year, is going to be the ability to do write back, and to do write back into a couple different areas. It's going to be able to write back, I believe, into SAP, some mainframe stuff. They announced it, and then the kind of the deeper part of what's going on hasn't been fully announced yet. But write back is coming. It's been asked for a while. We're building it into the cloud. It will not. I have not heard anything about on-prem. I don't think that that's coming down. There's some great tools out there that already do that. So it's just going to be on the cloud to kind of do that. But that was a big one. The other big one, which I actually have some slides for because I thought it was worth showing. So we don't have a ton of slides today because we just wanted it to be more of a panel discussion. But let me get to my stuff. Here is Qlik Cloud migration tool, the Qlik Analytics migration tool. So right before, I think it was like the week before leading up to it, we announced that we acquired a tool that was going to help the speed to migrate on-prem users and their apps to the cloud. So people were excited about this. This has honestly been one of the biggest challenges. I would say personally in sales is kind of like, hey, woo, glitz and glamour of Qlik Cloud. And then you get into the thing of like, well, how do we move it? Is there an easy way to do that? And Qlik Professional Services could do that. IPC was great at doing that, had a really good process down for doing that, but it still was bumpy. We could run what we call a SaaS readiness tool to really understand your environment, kind of flag things that could be of issue, but we didn't have a great way to quickly kind of move and lift and shift things. So we acquired this tool, and then this is kind of, I found these slides. This was kind of, and I think this was shared at, when Martin Tomes and the group shared this at Connect. This was from the breakout session. Like, this was kind of the existing process. We didn't really have a plan for migration. We would come up with it. We'd kind of create a structure around it, and we could easily move Qlik Sense apps. We didn't have a great way to move Qlik View apps. You could lift and shift them, but there was no great way to do it. We couldn't do the script. You had to do that. Validation wasn't there. Everything you can see here was just struggle. With the new tool, we are now going to be able to do this. We have an ability with this tool to do plan migration. We can create structure. We can do everything. We're migrating Qlik View apps. It's going to help with end printing movement to happen. Sense apps. So we didn't have that before. We can do all of that. And then we can update the app script. We can do application validation, reload flow setup. All of that is going to be happening and made possible by this tool. Now, of course, we would still appreciate and think it's wise for you to use Qlik Professional Services or IPC, because we will actually help you map out what makes the most sense to move the fastest, what needs to be over there. But this whole time thing is kind of time to value. I just had a customer that a month ago just finished their final movement of their Qlik Sense apps. Actually, it was their Qlik end printing stuff, which was going to result in a bunch of savings because they were decommissioning a bunch of infrastructure that was still running end printing so that they could recognize those savings. So we've done that. The tool's here. I'm super pumped about it. This is a little peek of kind of what it looks like. More changes are coming to it, but it's all there. It's exciting. It's going to make this process much smoother, much easier, and then we can kind of focus on less about the migration and more about how you're going to actually get value out of it once you moved and start getting some of the cool features that are in Qlik Cloud. That's it. I had one more thing and it left my mind. Go ahead, Jeff.
Well, maybe I'll come back to you because there was one question out there that I responded to, but they asked you how do you get more information on the migration tools. I said you can reach out to IPC Global. We can help you. Is there any website though that has this information?
Not that I've seen. They're still working on like fully integrating it into the Qlik suite. Like it's going to be built into the tool to help you do that. So that's still coming. Again, this acquisition was announced, I think, literally like a week before Qlik Connect, which is really not that far away. Or not that long ago. It feels forever ago, guys. It feels forever ago since I've seen you. But more info coming and how that's all going to work out. And I will say that I remember the one thing. This is a tool to help lift and shift. It will help fix some of the click view stuff. It won't look the same. It'll modernize that a little bit, but it will not optimize. It will not modernize everything. It is a lift and shift tool. That's where IPC, that's where Qlik could come in to say, we want to lift and shift because we want to remove that infrastructure, but man, we need help optimizing this, make sure it's the best it can be, looks great so that people are using it.
Yeah, because that time is so critical that we try to look at the technical debt you might have and eliminate it where we can. Because if you just move all your debt over, you live within your new environment, right? So it's a critical time to be strategic, is I think what you're saying.
Agreed.
So I guess shifting gears a little bit. Do you remember your next thing, or is your old mind forgetting it still?
Mine?
Yeah.
What else was I told to do?
I can't remember. Well, we talked about maybe the scheduler, but I don't think that's big.
It's not that big, and I got to be honest, I had struggle finding it and talking about it. So we'll talk about it more as it comes, because it was like a brief announcement. We announced a bunch of things. I would say if you were on this call and you did not watch the keynote, you should. It was you don't have to watch all of it. You don't have to watch Mike unless you want to. I can actually go find my timestamps. I'll put them in the chat that really mapped out, like, here's when the analytics piece starts, here's when the demo starts for analytics, here's when the data integration piece starts, here's when the demo starts. But well worth watching, because some of what we announced is big, is on the cusp of some huge things coming, and we're super excited about it.
Yeah, but before we move on, I think I need to do an explanation to this big beast behind me. I meant to talk about earlier. One of our themes was slaying the data beast. And so we had the big old sword that we slayed. And so this is the beast that we're not actually going off and trying to take over the castle. We're trying to kill the data beast. That's what IPC Global is doing for our customers. So I guess shifting gears, Igor, let's move to you. And do you want to talk about all this cool stuff that came along in the data science machine learning space?
Yes, I think there was the most impactful one, maybe the most impactful one in that area, which was the agentic AI. Was a great announcement. It's not out there yet, so we need to be patient. And when we say agentic AI in the Qlik platform, we're not talking about one thing. There are multiple agents that will be released, and they'll not be released all at once, so they'll be released in different times. So what I heard talking to people, so that's the latest information I have. This year, Q4, we have like the first agents, and I believe the help agent will be the first one. So because we'll have like the help agent, the analytics agent, I think will be next. Data integration agent, like you can have like conversations with an AI agent, and then it will build like a data pipeline for you. We'll have the predictive agent, the discovery, which is the one that I'm most excited about because it can like connect all of the pieces, automation agent, productivity agent. So there's a bunch of agents, but they will be released like over time because they require a different level of complexities. And so it's bringing agentic AI to
would
the
you
platform.
say a different level of complexity to connect all the pieces?
To connect all the pieces, and also the actual what it does. Like the help agent is basically you bring in some sort of like you bring basically Qlik Answers as an agent, because basically you'll be able to like talk to Qlik Help basically in the platform without that's information I had, without consuming your pages, your index pages. So you don't need to upload the Qlik Help to a knowledge base. I mean, we're still consuming the questions, but it will be like a great addition. So I think there was one. There was another silent one, which is now Qlik Answers is part of almost all of the tiers and capacity is started in the standard. So the starter one, it's not, but everything above that now come to Qlik Answers automatically, which is great because it has like a lot of use cases, great benefits. So I think the agentic AI and early on, and it was before I actually knew or was sure that Qlik will add, actually, or before I knew Qlik will add agentic AI this early in the roadmap. I wrote at the beginning of the year like a blog post explaining what is agentic AI and all of that. It is, it's the buzzword at the moment. So I think that that is great, not only because of the functionality, but also because it shows how Qlik is aligned with the evolution of data and what we can do with data, and also, which is great because if you want to do like agentic AI this level in all the platforms, you need to consider Hugging Face, you need to consider like all the vendors, you need to handle different vendors, different implementation, you need to hire people who implement that, has different skill set. So I think that's a great advantage. So I think that was the biggest in terms of the buzz that created. But the announcement that I was more excited about was not that one. It was one in Qlik Predict. Like Qlik Predict is a, I mean, it's no secret for anyone that I'm a big fan. I knew Qlik Predict AutoML before Qlik acquired. So coincidentally, I knew Big Squid. They gave me once like a trial license in a data science conference. Which never expired. So I continue using. So I was always a big fan. So I'm biased here. But
so you're a fan about what it did, or because it never expired?
No, I'm fan of what the tool can do, okay. the power of the tool. And like recently in the last months, like every maybe 2-3 weeks, I come in and there was a little different, something they added. Sometimes it's just on the UI, sometimes it's a new feature, which is great. So the tool is evolving, but there is one gap. Because all of the things we talk about AI is great, agentic it's great, but the most common use case in machine learning specifically is time series. That's the #1 common use case. Because time affects everything. Like the price today, of course, is more affected by the variables values as of yesterday than they were as the variables values like a while ago. And traditional machine learning, they treat everything regardless of when it happened the same. Time series takes that into the consideration. And again, let me talk again about my blog. I have an article on Data Voyager, so you go datavoyager.net, about time series and explain with very easy language, which is English, what is and what you expect in Qlik Predict. So that was the main one. And not only it's time series, is the multivariate time series. So you consider multiple variables in your time series. And I was looking at the probable algorithms they're using. So they adding like some neural network for time series. So that's a huge step, because based on some studies, some organizations like did in machine learning specifically, you need time series for more than half of the machine learning cases. Mm-hmm. So Qlik Predict is already great. Everything's amazing. However, you just go to another level. So I think that was the biggest one. And of course, Qlik Answers. Qlik Answers, it's a great tool. We like it, but they're improving Qlik Answers in many areas. I think I already noticed some improvements in context awareness. Like you're talking to the chat and then you refer to a previous question. It's getting better at understanding the context. But it's still unstructured data. So you can answer questions, you can have conversations based on unstructured data, like documents, basically, not structured data. And I mean, Jeff, you know that I demo Qlik Answers maybe once a week in a slow week. In a slow week. So I demo this a lot. And the most common question is, and when people ask about use cases, they ask about use cases that involves structured data, which we have now in a very basic level through Insight Advisor. Bringing that capability to Qlik Answers will be great. So instead of, in addition to adding unstructured document, like adding documents like PDF, HTML, etc., to your knowledge bases, you can also add applications. So use the power of LLMs to do that, and we'll do it in the same tool. So this is not official. What I heard is that initially at Qlik Connect, is that initially when you ask a question, again, don't quote me on this. I don't develop the tool. That's what I heard, like unofficially. The person who told me is on the product team. He had a couple of drinks and he told me, so don't quote me on that. But it makes sense to me. Initially, like the very first release, which is sooner than what you think, when you ask a question, it will be either structure or unstructured. It will be basically one or the other. But just like a very initial release, or maybe pre-release, but pretty soon you get both in the same questions. So you can have like a policy or how to do something as an unstructured data, and you can actually have the actual data in an application, and then can combine both to give you like recommendation on how to do this. So that is going to be huge, because large language models are not good with numbers. So having something that is good with numbers, and Qlik Answers is already powerful because of all the beautiful architecture, the way it's designed. That is again another level. So we were all amazed by the announcement of Qlik Answers last year. Now it's going Qlik Answers 2.0, and other things they adding guidelines. You can add context when you add in applications. So there's a lot of things that comes with this. That it's again it's putting Qlik way more in the leadership of all these initiatives.
Very cool. Yeah, and so there's so much that what you just unpacked there that just an amazing step forward. You think about how many tools you had to bring together, connect together to make work in the past, and now it is all built into Qlik. I mean, that's where I'm excited about the path it's moving forward with.
Though I have to say real quick, just off the tangent, I've been watching your screen, Igor. Am I just taking too many sips of wine, or is your room changing colors?
It is changing colors. I have some LEDs and have some. If I show you, I have a bunch of stuff here.
Okay, I was just making sure it wasn't crazy, because I was like, wow, you're a really colorful.
No, I was not supposed to show that Qlik one there, because that one I did not receive officially. I kind of stole from an event.
One of those.
It will be thrown away, by the way. It will go to the trash. So I saved it I recycled.
Good.
I love it. Well, I know we want to get to our guest here soon, though, right?
Exactly. So we're going to transition now. So we've talked about the write back, the migration. We've talked about AI. VJ, I want to hand the floor over to you so that you can go through and just talk to us about Iceberg and the Open Lakehouse. If you want.
Awesome, will do.
And as he comes through, people, as you have questions in the field, please put them in the chat, and we'll try to get them answered as we go through this too.
Awesome. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you, team, for having me again. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Enjoy the sips as we connect along with this session. So I'm going to start with just giving a quick introduction of Qlik Open Lakehouse, something that we announced at Qlik Connect a few weeks ago. But before I talk about what it is and why it matters, just a backgrounder, right? Like why did we introduce Qlik Open Lakehouse? Why Iceberg? So just so that everyone is on the same page. So Iceberg has been gaining increasing adoption for the last couple of years, I would say, as the de facto choice for building open lakehouses, right? So if you think about it, like what is Apache Iceberg? Apache Iceberg is an open table format that enables high performance analytics on diverse types of data. So you can utilize structured data, unstructured data, streaming data, right? So you can use diverse data, utilize it on diverse data types, and it basically is an open table format. Now it's completely open source, right? But what it enables organizations really is it enables you to really decouple storage and compute. You can completely decouple storage and compute. So just to put this in perspective, if you're all used to the data warehouse world, right? So if you're using a Snowflake or a Redshift, you have to store data within Snowflake, and you can just use Snowflake to query the data, right? That was how the world was. Now, how this shifts when you go to Iceberg is that you can now store data instead of storing it in proprietary or natively within Snowflake. You can now store that data in a cloud object store, right? You can just store it very economically on any cloud object store But then not only that, now you can open it up to any query engine. So now you can use Snowflake, you can use Databricks, you can use Apache Spark, you can use Amazon Athena, Trino, Presto, Dremio, right? It opens up a world of opportunities and possibilities for customers, right? That's the promise of Apache Iceberg, and this is why open table formats like Apache Iceberg is gaining so much of traction, right? So the reason why we are investing or why customers are moving to Iceberg is one is obviously interoperability, right? You can store data once in cloud object stores and utilize any engine for that job. So that definitely interoperability. But number two is really cost. I mean, you can see a big factor why customers are moving towards these open lakehouse architectures based on Apache Iceberg is they can get anywhere from 40 to 50% cost savings by moving their storage and compute out of, expensive compute engines to more, more cheaper engines and basically still gain interoperability with a number of different engines. Okay, so yeah, so we announced with that Apache Iceberg, we announced our Apache Iceberg integration with the launch of Qlik Open Lakehouse. So what is Qlik Open Lakehouse? It's to think of Qlik Open Lakehouse as a new fully managed capability within Qlik Talent Cloud. And that enables our users to ingest, process, manage, and optimize data in Iceberg-based lakehouses, right? And again, this is not a net new product. It's a new capability within Qlik Talent Cloud. So customers who already have Qlik Talent Cloud or who move to Qlik Talent Cloud, they will get this capability as part of Qlik Talent Cloud, okay? Now, another key thing to mention, how we are launching this is, remember we acquired a company called Absolver about 5 months ago in January, that was announced. The Absolver was leaders in Iceberg data management, right? They had built a lot of intellectual property and innovation around Iceberg. So we are bringing all the goodness of the Absolver platform into Qlik Talent Cloud, right? And so again, we launched this a few weeks ago at Connect, and this will be GA in summer. So around the August timeframe, in just a couple of months, this will be GA as part of Qlik Talent Cloud. Okay, so having said that, let me take a few minutes and walk you through, okay, what are some of the key capabilities? What is Qlik Open Lakehouse, right? So when you talk about Qlik Open Lakehouse, there are 3 key capabilities that are worth highlighting. So number one is this high throughput ingestion, right? So this, what it basically means is now you can ingest data from any of the data sources that QTC supports. So 200 plus sources, cloud sources, operational databases, SAP, mainframe, file sources. You can ingest data from any of the sources and land that data directly in Apache Iceberg tables on Amazon S3, right? You can now you can do real-time CDC, or you can do batch ingestion from all of these data sources and land the data in query-ready Iceberg tables with just a few clicks, right? Now, the beauty of this is also, normally when you do ingestion, you're burning data warehouse compute. In this case, you can do this without the need for a data warehouse compute for ingestion, which means for the landing and for the bronze layer, you do not have to burn data warehouse compute. You can use cost-effective Qlik compute based on EC2 Spot instance. You can use cost-effective Qlik compute for ingestion on the bronze layer, thereby delivering significant cost savings, right? So that's the number one aspect, is now you can bring in data from any of the sources, land it in query-ready Iceberg tables very easily and very simply. Okay, that's number one. Number two is what we call the adaptive Iceberg optimizer. Now, this in my mind is kind of the secret sauce that Absolver has developed over the last 6-7 years working with their customers, right? So if you think about Iceberg tables are hard to manage. Like without automation, you will need a whole team who will be tweaking and tuning every single table to ensure your storage footprint is reduced while your query performance is at par with what you experience, right? But that's what adaptive Iceberg optimizer does. It continuously monitors tables and determines the ideal optimizations, compactions, cleanups, orphan files cleanups, all of that stuff automatically based on each of the table's unique characteristics, right? So it does things like cost-based compaction, it does dynamic partitioning, it does intelligent cleanups of orphan files. And what all of this enables customers to do is now they can drive down the storage footprint and dramatically improve query performance. So you can now get data warehouse like query performance on Iceberg tables, right? Without having to have a whole team to manage and maintain these Iceberg tables for you. Okay, that's the beauty of what Adaptive Iceberg Optimizer enables. And last but not the least, data warehouse mirroring. So it's great that you have data in Iceberg tables now, but how do you easily interoperate with, let's say, a Snowflake environment that you might have, right? That's what data warehouse mirroring enables. You can easily mirror data from Iceberg tables into Snowflake to enable additional downstream transformations, all without duplicating the data or creating a copy of the data. You don't have to, again, duplicate the data. You can just create a mirror of the data in Snowflake, right? Now, this ensures interoperability with your existing Snowflake environment. You're making the most out of your existing Snowflake environment. It minimizes data duplication and delivers further cost savings, right? But the key here is look at the right? I mean, okay, now we have brought data into Iceberg tables, but what this now does is it opens up your data to a number of query engines. You can now use Snowflake, Amazon Athena, you can utilize Apache Spark, Trino, Presto. So it opens up a world of opportunities and possibilities in terms of use cases for customers. Okay. And just to summarize, what does all this mean? Like, why does this matter at the end of the day? As I said, now you can ingest fresh data in minutes directly into Iceberg tables. More importantly, this, based on the adaptive Iceberg optimization that we are doing continuously, you can now reduce the storage footprint, reduce the compute requirements for your workloads by up to 50%. And Absolver, they have a number of customers examples where they've been able to save millions by moving to an Iceberg-based architecture, right? So you can now reduce your analytical costs up to 50% while improving your query performance, right? Getting comparable query performance that you would get from a data warehouse. Okay. So again, there are benchmarks and stuff. There is obviously more details. We are actually doing a webinar. If you want to learn more, there's a webinar coming up, I would say in 2 weeks on June 25th. Build on Apache Iceberg with Qlik Open Lakehouse. We'll go more details on what is Qlik Open Lakehouse, why it matters, how it works, architecture, everything. And if you're interested, feel free to sign up for it. The registration link is here, but I'll be sure to put that in the chat, and I will share that with you as well, so that Danielle, so that we can share it with the broader team. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm glad you mentioned that. So Danielle's going to send out to the entire everybody who signed up for the webinar, everyone who's on the call. You'll get an email with all the links, because we referenced a lot of things, Igor's blogs, various other things from Connect, if you're here, and of course this webinar.
Awesome.
So I just want to this is awesome. I mean, I'm so excited about this, because this is built upon the Apache Iceberg standard, right? I mean, we're not. So the thing that's amazing about this, I attended the virtual Iceberg Summit or conference a few months ago, and again, Microsoft, Amazon, LinkedIn, Google, they are all funding tremendous amounts to build and build the standard. So it's not like we're building our own thing. This is solid. It's tested. It's true. And the Upsolver piece is so important, because the management, like you said, a team of people, if you want to scale, you're going to need an army of people at some time, probably, to make sure that you're truly compacting and managing your Iceberg tables correctly. But Upsolver does it for us.
Exactly, because one of the known problems with Iceberg is something that they call the small files problem, right? Because if you have events coming in every second, every minute, you just keep adding files, and suddenly, in a few months, you have like files that are out of control. And guess what? It's not just about the file sizes. Now, when you're querying, it has to go through every single file trying to query the data, right? So it has to be automatically managed. You need some kind of an engine to kind of, do the compactions, do the cleanups, do the compressions of the data, so that now you can reduce the storage size, but more importantly, you can deliver consistent query performance that your analysts are used to, that your business teams are used to, right? That's the beauty of what Upsolver has developed. And again, they have like a number of case studies, which including customers like Cox Automotive, IoT use cases from ConocoPhillips, right? Iron Source, who is kind of ingesting 5 million events per second and landing it in 5 million events per second and landing it in iceberg-based lakehouses, right? So it just opens up a world of opportunities and possibilities when it comes to use cases, and again, opens up interoperability, right, for our customers.
Very good, very good. So I guess questions from the panel, from the field out there, the audience. Is there any questions about anything we've talked about, anything that you have questions? Please, you can even come off mic and talk, or type it in the chat.
Well, my one comment, as we'll open that up, is, so this is an iceberg that you want to hit.
Yeah.
It's a bad joke, but we've been actually internally, we've been trying to figure out how to create a fun video like we did with the secret agent thing, if anybody saw that, specific to iceberg and the Titanic, and we keep getting some ideas, and then they're kind of cringy or like, that seems a little bit rough, so we steer away from it. But I had to make the joke.
This is the good iceberg ahead, like iceberg ahead. Let's go straight ahead, full steam ahead, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys will one day connect the dots on the ideas for that.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
Sorry. I just had to make a pun there.
That is good. That is good. So beyond, again, if I know it was quiet out there, maybe we've answered everybody's questions, but we have a bunch of events coming up.
We're that good. We're that good. We answered everyone's questions. We're that good.
Claim that,
we also need to give them a chance to ask the questions. We give them like 5 seconds.
And then I talk. You're right.
Anyone
Okay.
say connect one more time so I can drink more?
I'm gonna just relax. That's what I'm gonna do.
But as an upcoming calendar, we talked about it. So VJ talked about that Open Lakehouse webinar. You should sign up for it and attend it if it's even remotely on your future, because I think this is going to affect all organizations, big and small, because of what it can do for you. I think we wanted to mention we've got some meetups, Qlik meetups. They'll be in the email. Look for those coming to a city near you. Igor coordinates those, so there's a lot of cool things happening there. Kurt, AI reality tour. Do you have any plug you want to do for that?
Oh, I do. Did I? Oh, I made a slide and I don't know where I put it. Crap.
How much you been drinking over there, Kurt?
No, I have like 9 slide decks.
We've heard about his problem. He has too many flights he's got going on.
That's right. You're right.
That's right. I decided to do my own beer flight for this one today. No, let me see.
He's connecting them all together, right?
So Qlik meetups, another one that we're working at. We're doing a bunch of stuff at. There's a bunch of AWS summits happening around North America and Canada. You can go look up AWS Summit and see where it's at. Qlik is going to be at most of those. There's one in July in New York City. I will be there with a few other people. That's that. Where is it? The AI reality tour. I don't want to share my slide. So it's coming up. They're happening literally all over the world. So if anybody's tuning in from Brazil, there's some down there. Those were huge last year. In North America, there's 4, and they're in order, but I don't have the dates for you. You can go find it out. San Jose, Chicago, New York City, and Toronto. I believe that's the order. I will be at 2 of those. New York City's definitely. I don't know what other ones I will be at yet, but I will be at one. I'll be your lovely host. So it'll be fun. But they're going to be great. If you can make it to the New York one, there's an announcement coming at that one, which is going to be pretty good. I was just privy to that today. Mike Capone will be at that one. Brendan Grady will be at that one. That is, I believe, September 4th. In New York City. And if you just do a search for Qlik AI Reality Tour, it'll bring you to the page. You can see literally everything happening all over the world, some at the same exact times, same dates. So go there and you can get more information. And I think if there isn't a spot to register yet, it's either check back or sign up, and then we'll let you know once the registration opens. But going to be some great tours happening. So if you miss Qlik Connect, this is the thing to come to. And they're all free.
Yeah,
if you come to New York, I might take you out for dinner.
Nice. Couple more things to add here. One is, so Jeff mentioned the meetups. So we're waiting some of these new announcements to become to general access. So then we'll do some meetups about that, invite customers to talk on those meetups. So look for, if you're in Atlanta, Boston, Dallas, Portland, or Seattle. I think those are all of the cities we organize. Yeah. So and of course we have other meetups. We have meetups in Tampa. We have meetups in Chicago. We have meetups in Denver. We have meetups all over the US and the world. So keep an eye open for that. And another thing is, forgot to mention, is data recipe. So data recipe, it's a new tool in the Qlik Analytics. It's not part of Talent. That will be available soon, probably Q3 this year. So it'll be soon. And what I can tell is I was able to test it, and it's really good. It's really good. I'm only saying this because it was mentioned and announced, and there was a quick demo in Qlik Connect. So it's not like a secret. It was announced in Qlik Connect. So be released soon. I tested. It's really good, and I even recorded a video explaining how to use it, like a short video that we'll release in the release date. So stay tuned. Will be all of the data voyages. So yeah, that was another thing. It's basically data preparation, no code, in addition to data flow, which is a tool that I'm using a lot for preparing data for machine learning. Now data recipe, which is also pretty good.
I had one last thing to plug. There is another webinar. I know we have all the webinars going on. We have another webinar June 26th, the day after VJ's. It's a panel discussion webinar. It's called The Importance of AI and Analytics in the Public and Private Sectors. We have some really awesome panelists. It's going to be the elections director for Georgia Secretary of State. It's going to be the director of GME Research and Quality Improvement at NGHS. It's going to be our own Alex Caraballo, Director of Sales and Strategy, and then Sean Rogers, the CEO of Bark. So should be really some expert opinions in some really interesting fields. So be sure to check that out. We'll put it, of course, in the email coming up too.
No questions. All right, who's going to Qlik Connect next year? We don't know. I think I could secretly tell you where it is, but I can't tell you anything more than that. I don't know when.
2026.
Exactly where. I know it's right, 2026. Rumor is it's going to be a little earlier this year, and the other rumor is it is in Orlando again. So work on your tan.
We'll have to connect again next year.
Your humidity rooms get prepared.
Connect.
Oh, there we go.
Oh yeah.
Gotta keep bringing it up. Gotta finish my wine. Almost there.
We kind of did the wrap up, but just to say again, anything that we talked about today from the migration tool, some of this is like we do the big announcements and then it comes. We don't have all the information, but reach out, Qlik Account Manager, anybody at IPC will get you what information we have. We can start setting up things. There's certain access being given to us in different places. As kind of VJ said, there's some access even happening around Open Lakehouse. But yeah, we'd love to talk more about it if you have questions. And don't want to voice them in front of all of us while we're drinking. I get that. All right,
Very good.
I think we're at time. It got quiet.
We're
Jeff,
at time.
anything else to say?
Nope, except for we love and thank you for your support and being here today, and we look forward to talking to you again next time. Bye-bye, all.
Thanks for connecting with us.
Thank you all.
Goodbye.
Thanks.
Ciao.
Bye.